Canadian taxpayers keep getting conned. From 2004 to 2016, Ismaili spiritual leader Aga Khan manipulated the Canadian government into handing him $310 million in grants. He used $100 million of it to buy the most expensive island in the Bahamas, where he recently invited Justin Trudeau and Liberal Party leaders for a vacation. But nothing to see here. Recall, 1867 was the most important year in Canadian history, when Confederation, the birth of Canada, took place. Then 1967, when Canada celebrated its 100th birthday and showcased itself to the world by holding Expo 67, World's Fair. And now 2017, for which the Canadian government scheduled major celebrations leading up to its 150th birthday on July 1st, the festivities were to begin with glorious New Year's Eve fireworks in Ottawa. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau understood the significance of the event when he declared, quote, "Tonight is a 150 years in the making and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ring in the new year together." End quote. Trudeau implies he is physically present in Canada. Families and foreign dignitaries descended on Ottawa that night to witness our gaydar-jamming metrosexual-in-chief do what he does for everything from gay pride to welcoming invading refugees at the airport. Take center stage, batting his eyelashes, flicking his J.Sears-esque hair, and offering selfies to every drooling menopausal hag that lunges at his loins. But pretty boy Trudeau was nowhere to be found. When concerned Canadians inquired about his absence, the PM's handlers admitted he took his family on vacation, just like he did the previous year when they were, supposedly, in St. Kitts and Nevis. Since Trudeau used the word together, Canadians just assumed he was on vacation in another part of Canada. But when pressed further, his handlers grudgingly admitted that the Trudeau family was, quote, in the Bahamas. That meant Trudeau was not physically present in Canada, making his "ring in the New Year together" statement a lie. It also meant that his handler's initial statement was a lie of omission. His handler's second statement implied that the Trudeaus were on some generic beach soaking up the sun. But that too turned out to be a lie. Another lie of omission. 3 lies. When pressed further, the complete truth finally came out. On December 26, 2016, Justin Trudeau and his family left on a vacation to Belle Island, a small portion of the Bahamas owned by Prince Shah Karim Al Husseini, the current Aga Khan. He purchased the 349-acre island in 2009 for $100 million, making it the most expensive island in the Bahamas. In comparison, tranny connoisseur Eddie Murphy purchased a 15-acre island in the Bahamas for $15 million. That price tag did not include the tens of millions of dollars Aga Khan spent to build a mansion, outbuildings, and a marina large enough to accommodate his 150-foot yacht. Aga Khan caused major ecological damage to Belle Island by dredging the sea to build his private marina. To smooth over the disaster, he gave the Bahamas National Trust a paltry $1 million donation. Trudeau flew to the Bahamas from Montreal on a Royal Canadian Air Force jet, then to Belle Island in Aga Khan's personal helicopter. Trudeau may have unfairly used taxpayer dollars for a luxurious holiday trip, and may have created a number of conflicts of interest by accepting gifts from someone whose organization receives money from the Canadian government. Trudeau was questioned about the ethics of accepting a trip from the head of an organization that just in the last year received $55 million from Canada for foreign aid programs in Afghanistan. How much of that money went toward administrative expenses and lining Aga Khan's pockets is unknown. Trudeau then did what he always does whenever he is caught committing a sin. He receded into an infantile state in order to evoke sympathy from his voter base. Naive women. He attempted to pull their heartstrings by claiming he was obliged to vacation on Belle Island because Aga Khan is a, quote, long-time family friend, who was a pallbearer at his father's funeral. Even though Muslims attending non-Muslim funerals is strictly forbidden by the Quran. Trudeau later admitted to several more vacations on the island. He said, quote, "The first time I went on vacation with the Aga Khan, I was 12 years old. It was a family trip with my father and my brothers, and we had a wonderful time in Greece. I have seen him many times since then for dinners, at his place, and in various places around the world. And yes, in Christmas of 2014, when I was an MP, I spent some time with him on Belle Island as well." And Trudeau admits to taking the same helicopter ride there in 2014. Trudeau argued that his latest con job was strictly personal. When asked why Liberal Party President Anna Gainey and her husband, Tom Pitfield, and Liberal MP Seamus O'Regan and his faggot husband Steve Doss were also on the trip, Trudeau declined to comment. The unwelcome publicity freaked out O'Regan, who now says he will personally reimburse Aga Khan for any costs incurred, and he will not put anything on the taxpayer's tab. Trudeau has been silent. Interestingly, under Islamic law, sodomites Seamus and Stave should have been punished by Aga Khan as follows, quote, "The active partner, the top, is to be lashed 100 times if he is unmarried, and killed if he is married, whereas the passive partner, the bottom, is to be killed regardless of his marital status. Muslims do not recognize, quote, gay marriage, and may the author include, neither does a Christian, neither does the Bible. It's clear, it's sin." Nonetheless, we're going to assume, based on pictures, that Seamus is the top. Sorry, Steve. Meaning he should have been lashed 100 times, and Steve should have been thrown out of Aga Khan's helicopter. Scarface style. Anyway, Parliament's Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner, formerly Mary Dawson, is investigating Trudeau for 2 potential violations. A conflict of interest by taking a free holiday from the Aga Khan, who is the founder and director of a registered Canadian lobbying organization, and traveling the 115 kilometers between the capital of the Bahamas, Nassau, and Belle Island on Aga Khan's private helicopter. For your information, no Prime Minister has ever been found to have violated a federal law while in office. But that is not the only ethics scandal Trudeau is being investigated for. He attended Trudeau Foundation parties, where he was lobbied by millionaires. The Pierre Trudeau Foundation claims to operate various humanitarian efforts around the world. It holds luxurious fundraisers to attract donors, which Trudeau attends. Legislation prohibits the lobbying of the Prime Minister at such parties. Trudeau admitted to discussing politics with donors, and even had the gall to say that his attendance was necessary to, quote, "create economic growth for the middle class." So, who exactly is this Aga Khan? He is the twice-divorced, 80-year-old, 49th Imam of the world's 15 million Ismailis, 100,000 of which live in Canada. They believe he is a direct descendant of Muhammad. Aga Khan amassed his $800 million fortune, including a $100 million home in France and several yachts, through a continuation of his family's wealth, the annual daisons, or tithes, his erotomaniacal followers pay him, and by running several lucrative businesses. He is best known for owning and breeding hundreds of thoroughbreds in France and Ireland. Like the pay-to-play Clinton Foundation and Pierre Trudeau Foundation, the Aga Khan Foundation is set up as a philanthropic organization. Aga Khan has smuggled millions of dollars across the U.S.-Canadian border using the Aga Khan Foundation and his religious establishments, which employ 80,000 people in 30 countries. The CBC documentary, God's Money, explains how in 1991, one such attempt in the amount of $1 million was thwarted by the Canadian Border Security Agency. The Foundation's lack of transparency even led to a Canadian Revenue Agency audit. In 2010, Zionist Prime Minister Stephen Harper made Aga Khan an honorary Canadian citizen. Harper said, quote, "As you yourself said, Your Highness, we cannot make the world safe for democracy without first making the world safe for diversity. If I may say, sir, you sound like a Canadian, and in fact you are." Esteemed Canadian Illuminati researcher Henry McCow claims Aga Khan is the leader of an occult satanic secret society. He offers compelling proof of such at this link.